Morning folks, Shane here with Shanty Acres Homestead. Today's going to be a little bit different day. It's a beautiful day, it's snowing. However, all of our normal Saturday plans have been changed because of the weather. Typically on this day every month, a couple different times a month, we go out knocking on doors, inviting folks to church and have an outreach day. We're not going to be doing that today, and I am going to break away from the normal routine. We're going to do something that I haven't done for years. It has been 7 or 8 years, maybe, perhaps, since I've set any traps. And before, I used to set the traps because the fur market was good and the pelts were worth quite a bit of money. And to be honest with you, trapping and hunting, I believe, helps a long ways towards our conservation efforts in Missouri. I know that overpopulation in the raccoons since the fur market has gone down has caused a lot of distemper and disease, and there's a lot of coyotes now and those things. Now, let me just go ahead and say at the beginning of this video, if you don't like trapping, animal trapping, if you aren't interested in this kind of stuff, Lisa and I, we love doing this channel. We love our subscribers. We love our followers. We love doing this. We have fun doing this, and this is about our life, and we do believe that trapping is a good source of predator control and animal conservation. For various reasons, it would take too long to discuss, and if somebody's adamantly angry against it, they're not going to listen anyway. So just help yourself and feel free to not watch this video, or if you see one entitled trapping, just skip that video and watch our others. Don't get angry with us. We're country folks. We live in the country. We live the country way. We're on a farm here now, and we have pretty vulnerable animals to coyotes and bobcats, and I've had some bobcats on my trail camera. I've had some red fox on my trail camera. Both of those animals will eat baby goats and even grown goats if they have the opportunity. So we're going to do a little bit of that for predator control, and follow along with us today as we do this. It's going to be a good time. I'm not loading a lot of traps, just enough for a little bit of predator control on their place, and I enjoy trapping, so more along the hobby side of doing this. And every day goes by, every week goes by, every month goes by, and the things that we intend to do, we don't get around to doing them. Trapping is one of those things that gets put on the back burner, way on the back burner. And I've got a trapping license this year. I haven't used it. It's the first one I bought in 7 or 8 years. So we're gonna set this, and we've got about, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks that we can run a trap line. I don't imagine I'll keep it open that long. I just want to kind of get my feet wet again, get back into it, and see what happens. I don't claim to be a professional trapper. I'm just a hobby trapper, so this is not an instructional video. Don't do what I do. Do it right. I'm mostly interested in freeze-proof sets, so I won't be using any dry dirt or any dirt wax or anything like that. Bobcat foothold sets, which will be exposed traps. These will be coyote cable restraint traps, and one set that I'm going to call a straw bale set for fox, which the straw will insulate it and the traps will be on top of the ground. So I'm hoping not to deal with freeze up. There are way easier fastening systems to fasten my traps to my cable stake than this, but I haven't trapped in so long. I really don't have those systems anymore, any little snap rings or anything. I just kind of, I would say, more came into it unprepared in that way. I'm making a bobcat cubby set here. This will be a exposed trap lay on top of the ground. The old saying, curiosity with the cat, goes pretty true. They will step in a trap that's laying on top of the ground if you do it right. So this cubby set will hold the bait back inside of it. We'll see what happens. Got these wonderful Minnesota brand MB-550s. I've got two of these. They were a gift from a friend of mine several years ago. He bought a dozen of them and gave me two of them, and I really love these traps. My hands aren't as strong as they used to be. It's got a night latch system on it. You can go online somewhere and read about that, but if you'll listen for the click, and that'll mean the pan is set perfectly level with the trap and just ready to fire. Heard that click? Keep this jaw up. Keep that jaw up like that. So anytime I grab it, I can grab it behind here and not get my hand in it. This is the stinky part. Put a little bit of Cabin's Predator Bait Plus down inside there, and then I'll put a little bit of gland lure from Bobcats on the outside. Predator Control Group rub lure for Bobcats. I'm not promoting any lures or anything like that, just showing you what I'm doing with the set. Got to give a shout out to Bark River Knives, Escanaba, Michigan. This is the Bravo 1 doing the job. Well, that's it for this set. I don't know. Let's just hope we catch a bobcat. I've had them passing back and forth through here on this four-wheeler trail, this game trail. I hope the trap being exposed on the ground keeps coyotes out of it. And I don't care if I catch a fox because I want them kind of caught anyway. And I really do want a bobcat, so that's why I did the exposed set. A bobcat will see that pan as a place just to set its foot, and it'll get in that trap. It's time for Shanty Acres Homestead Trapper to give you an update on how the predator trapping is going. Let me just start out by saying it's not. So, that's Lisa's word, but I'm going to use it anyway, the word so. I had good intentions when I started out. I had bobcats and red fox on the trail camera. I knew there was plenty of varmints around to trap and want to do predator control and want to do that for our chickens and for our goats and our kids that are going to come. So I decided I was going to get back into trapping. Now when I was younger, I remember enjoying trapping. I remember not being too frustrated with getting out in the cold, in the dark, before going to work and checking traps. I remember there was a few times even me being afraid of the dark and getting up in the dark and checking traps, and we've got some funny stories that we could tell about that, about the killer pterodactyl that we saw, and all the other things that can happen in the dark. Mountain lion tracks we found one time, me and my daughter. So all those old memories just keep bringing it back, and me going, man, I'm going to go out and set some traps, and I'm going to get me a trap line set. But I find this many years later, I'm not seeking the same thrills that I used to. I do enjoy the trapping. I think it's a lot like logging cedar trees. We've got acres of cedar trees here on our property. And boy, I was going to log those cedar trees, and I was going to make a bunch of money. And I went down there and logged my first load of cedar trees and worked my tail off for a couple of days and got me a trailer load of cedar trees and hauled them in. I actually cut my blue jeans with my chainsaw. First time ever. Cedar trees are dangerous. They're slick when they're wet. And I loaded up that load of cedar tree logs, and I took them to the buyer, and I got a whopping total of $165. And I determined at that point right there, logging cedar trees for money is a whole lot better sounding idea from the pickup truck than it is when you're actually doing it. Well, I think what happened with my trapping is I'm not seeking the same thrills that I used to. And what I mean by that is I really didn't factor in the wind chill and cold factor this year. I made those sets. They were spread out a little bit. I had to get up really early, get the chores done, which I didn't used to have chores either, by the way. Used to, I could just get up, eat my breakfast, get a cup of coffee, leave, run, check some trap line, come back, change clothes real quick, and go to work. Well, I got up and I had chores to do and eat my breakfast, and by the time I went and run the traps, just a few traps right here on my property. Didn't even have to drive anywhere to check them. And I'd get up the next morning and I'd be like, I don't want to go out there in the cold. Man, it was getting down to like, oh, it wasn't like, it literally was 2 degrees one morning. And I checked my traps and nothing in my traps, and with bobcat traps, bobcat sets and some other sets like that, sometimes you got to give them a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and sometimes they'll connect, sometimes they won't. It's not like muskrats or raccoon where you can just catch them by the dozens. Well, it wasn't, the exciting factor wasn't there for me. And that day that it was 2 degrees and a terrible wind chill had it down below zero, I realized 2 degrees is almost out of degrees. And I just realized, I'm not going to do this. So I'm driving down the road, and the next day I decide to what we call pull the traps. So I just decide I'm not doing this anymore. So I go down there, and I pop the traps, and I pull the traps, and I bring them to the house, and the trap line's over. We didn't make any catches. I didn't have any great videos to show you. I don't even have any wild killer pterodactyl stories to tell you, or bobcat reaching out with his claws and trying to get me before I dispatch. I don't have any cool videos. I don't have any funny stories. I don't have any cool follow-up stuff. But what I didn't realize was happening, my wife was all along preparing a video for the trapping series of Shanty Acres Homestead and getting ready to show you all the results from the trap line. And it's Thursday night right now. Let me catch you up on what's going on Thursday evening in our house. Thursday evening right now, she's in there making spaghetti pie because I promised the guys at work that I'd bring them spaghetti pie. They'd never had it. And so she's in there making spaghetti pie. She had to run to the store. She said, you know what, I got to get the video out. Show me the pictures, show me the videos. What's the results of your trap line? What have you caught, what have you not? And I'm going, I haven't caught anything. I said, you're going to have to do a different video. She said, I can't do a different video. She said, I've been getting a video ready for trapping. I said, I don't have any video of any trapped animals. I didn't catch any animals. She said, well, you're going to have to produce something, bucko, because I got to do a video. So I said,
I guess we're going to have to do a different video. And she doesn't have any more material. So she put me on camera to confess to you that I wimped out because of the cold and I pulled the traps. And this ends the saga of Shanty Acres Homestead Predator Animal Trapping 2021-2022 season. I'm not even buying a trapping license next year, most likely. Thank you for following Shanty Acres Homestead. Thank you for watching our videos. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Thank you for giving comments. We love all you folks. And may your life bring honor and glory to Jesus Christ. See you on the next video.